we got
Nurse's office.
All right, so we're on 5. The K-12 Deluxe Edition. Nurse's office.
Don't cut me, punch me, just let me go into the nurse's office where I float away and pale as the loose leaf paper they grow from hollowing out all my lungs in the snow. Yeah, I'm coughing, I'm bleeding. Band-aids won't heal it 'cause they hate me, so I'm faking all of this. So they take me home. Give me that pink slip of permission. This is all. I'm tired of wishing I was stitching. Teacher, can I sit right there? This bitch behind me is cutting my hair. No, just sit your ass down at the chalkboard. You stare. I faked up a seizure and left that in there. Yeah, I'm coughing, I'm bleeding. Band-aids won't heal it 'cause they hate me, so I'm faking all of this. So they take me home. Give me that pink slip of permission. This is
Oh my god, and this choreography is so good. It's A1 and it goes with the lyrics perfectly. Just really in sync.
They're like flamingos, right?
Yeah.
You know what I think is interesting? So the previous one that we saw, class fight, the teachers' outfits, like you remember, like her thing was really pointy. It was pointing up. And then these nurses, their things are pointing sideways. And the children, specifically the girls, their shoulders are poofed up. So I really think that even with the uniforms that she chose for these dancers and extras, like it's very deliberate, it seems.
Oh yeah, 100%. And it makes sense, right? Because they want everything to be like have a sense of uniformity, right? So like the
Yeah.
authority figures have similar uniforms. Obviously, the nurses are going to have similar uniforms, and just like the students. If you go to a private school, it's the same thing. So I like the concept because it makes sense in a lot of environments, like some work environments, which sucks, like have to wear uniforms, and so everyone has the same uniform unless you have a different rank. Same thing
Right.
with cops,
Military.
and depending on your status, that uniform may or may not change.
Yeah.
So yeah, very thoughtful in the way they did everything in these videos: the costume, the environment, the choreography, the lyrics.
And you notice like the nurses, when they're dancing, they're staying in this red star, which kind of shows that like they don't cross the line, so to say. Meanwhile, like the two, like Melanie Martinez and her classmate, they're just like, I think almost outside of the star. I don't know. To take a look.
they take me home. Give me that pink slip of permission. This is
See, like you see, like the choreography, we're like, give me that permission, and then it's like if you look at the choreography and like think about the lyrics as opposed to when they're while they're simultaneously doing these moves, it matches the lyrics like perfectly.
Yeah, it looks like the bird just feeding something, right?
Yeah, it's almost as if like if you didn't speak English or if you didn't understand what they were saying and you could read body language, you would know exactly what they're saying by being able to read the body language.
Or almost.
Remember that video we seen with the choreographers, and they break down when they break down the creation of their choreography and their dance moves based on the lyrics.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really insightful as to what goes into making choreography. I didn't realize like the science behind it.
Same.
And since that video, like the way I look at choreography has like changed forever, I think.
Yeah, I think Lady Gaga does a really great job doing that too.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm faking all of this, so they take me give me that pink slip of permission. This is all. I'm tired of wishing I was stitching.
And I'm not gonna lie, I like the crossover between like mental asylums and the school, right? Because like in both environments, the overlap is like it's both an experiment, right? Where especially if you look at the asylums from like the 50s and the 60s, those environments were really harsh, and the way they treated patients were completely different to how they do it today. They used to like experiment with them with like
Shock therapy.
lobotomies, aversion therapy, like all these crazy therapeutic methods that were still, they weren't approved. They were still being clinically studied, right? So there was no proof. It was all theory whether some of these methods actually worked or not. So they were being used as experiments. And that's the same thing that's happening in this music video, but they're in a school.
Yeah.
So I like that crossover, because in school it's also an experiment, but it's just more of a social experiment as opposed to a science experiment using medications and shit like that.
Take me home, give me that pink slip of permission. This is all. I'm tired of wishing I was stitching.
Hey, like some fucking...
Who dat?
Yeah, her world is very interesting.
Very unique.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, like that, the lady that saves them has like elf ears. You notice that?
I actually didn't notice that. But it like reminded me of some like,
Enchantment.
yeah, like some Chronicles of Narnia shit. Although in Chronicles of Narnia, I don't think no one came out of the closet.